guys, it's Melissa and I am back. I'm going to do a Medical Monday. I plan on trying to do one once a week, every Monday, just to kind of go over either a rare illness or something that I suffer from, because awareness is like the most important thing in my life right now, is to educate and bring awareness to the medical community and doctors' offices who don't really understand conditions such as IIH and or Thornwaldt disease. So I'm kind of like on the crusade of a lifetime to attend neurosurgical conventions and otolaryngology conventions and ENT conventions and symposiums and present the data and the research that I've compiled over the past 6 years, and hopefully try to educate our clinicians to something that maybe they weren't necessarily taught in medical school because of the advancements of technology, or perhaps they don't fully understand the region in which their patient is sick. So, especially on the ENT side, I can't stress this enough. I literally went my whole life being told that it was allergies. It was allergies. And now fast forward to my research, and I am validating that it wasn't chronic sinusitis, that the Thornwaldt cyst did basically take over and allowed the obstruction for the CSF to begin to develop. And then when I went on to have my children, the increase of hormones considerably spiked my ICP. And then after I had the babies, my ICP went okay, and then I would spike again. And I went on like that. My last son was born my youngest was born in May, and I started going to the doctor in November for problems, just repeated problems. And it wasn't until December that I was finally diagnosed. And I just think that all the research I've done, I literally have been studying Thornwaldt for 6 years now, and the evidence that I have compiled suggests that if the Thornwaldt cyst was found and removed when I was little, I potentially wouldn't have developed idiopathic intracranial hypertension. And of course, this is just theory, but research doesn't lie, and so I am back to square one, basically. And I am just hoping that anybody out there with a Thornwaldt cyst, even if it was incidentally noted, even if you don't know, even if you've ever had a CT or an MRI of the head and neck, the cervical spine, I think it's important to be your own advocate, get your medical records, get your CD scans, and look at them, do some research, because a lot of times doctors will say you are fine and really you're not. And the issue that could have been fixed when I was little potentially has caused me a lifetime of trauma and chronic illness that potentially could have been avoided, in my opinion. And of course, this is still just theory. I am waiting for Dr. Hepworth to validate my theory. And of course, it's like the longest process in the world trying to get your medical records. So, and I have 4 or 5 different hospitals to get them from. I did get a CD in the mail on Sunday. That was from CPMC, and I put it in my computer. So excited to look at the medical records, and boom, no copyrights. So I'm back at square one. I am going to call CPMC after I do this video and see what's going on, because this is just all this time waiting is less time that Dr. Hepworth has to look at my scans and give me a concrete second opinion. So anybody out there who has had any imaging of the brain or cervical spine, I highly urge you to get your records and do some research, especially if you suffer from severe headaches or, the loss of hearing, throat obstruction. If they keep saying you have chronic sinusitis, get your medical records and do some research, because if my mom would have known then what she knows now, I probably wouldn't have spent a lifetime suffering. So, any parents out there who have sick kids, who have chronic laryngitis, chronic strep throat, chronic tonsillitis, dig deeper, because there could be an underlying issue, a congenital birth defect that you were never informed about because it is so widely misunderstood and under researched, especially here in America. So, there's my 2 cents for the day, my Medical Monday. And please just know that if you're sick, don't stop fighting for answers, because you are your only advocate. And if you don't fight for yourself, the doctors aren't going to do it for you. I'm telling you this because I have a background in the medical field and I've seen it firsthand. When doctors are overwhelmed with a patient who has extensive medical problems and they don't know where to begin, the patient is pushed off. They're discredited. So I've seen it happen multiple times, and my fight in this next decade is to educate people and educate doctors to let them know that there could be an underlying cause that they're overlooking just based on not furthering their research past medical school. Which that's what I'm seeing a lot, is doctors are just kind of stuck in their little bubble because that's how they've gone on with their practice for the last 10 years, and they treat patients. They haven't had a problem until they get a medical mystery like me. So fight for yourself. You're the only one that's going to fight for you. Doctors do not care, and I cannot stress that enough. Doctors do not care. And I don't want to tell you that to scare you. I want to tell you that so you can become your own advocate and find the answers that could potentially be causing you destruction. So just know that if you are sick, keep fighting, and you know your body better than anybody else. And if something's telling you there's something wrong inside, fight for answers, because 9 times out of 10, there is something going on. Our bodies don't signal to the brain that there is pain unless there is an underlying issue. So with that being said, don't forget to be your own advocate, and thank you so much for watching.